Good morning. And it's definitely being one, isn't it? First, my UPS kicks out, and then my computer decides it needs to update before I can get back in. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm dying. So,
Yes. And last week, of
oh,
course, it
wow.
kept kicking us off. So let's see if we get through this today.
Yeah, I did connect with an EV Mux group, and there was a fellow there that said that the same thing happened to him when he was doing his live on Friday, but it got better throughout the week. So, hopefully, that's the case for us. It looks to be.
So far, it looks like we're still alive.
All right. Yay. Okay. So, good morning and welcome to the Dark Roast. We are a little late starting, but that's okay. I am Donna Stroll and I'm here with the lovely and talented Rose Short.
Good
And
morning.
today's episode is going to be all about that A B split and how to test smarter and not so much harder.
Yes, yeah. A/B splitting is so important. Split tests are an absolute must if you are running ads or even trying to get visibility on your reels, things like that. YouTube allows it now, Facebook allows it, and it's really important. So most marketers, when they first start out, right, they're guessing. They're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And guessing costs money if you're running ads or if you're monetized and not getting your content in front of anybody. So it's super important that you figure out what works for your audience. Small changes can make huge differences. We've seen this over and over again. And that's often why we say test one or two change things.
Yeah.
Because then if it
Instead,
works, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If it works, then you have no idea why it worked, right?
What did I mix? Yeah.
Yes. But market research has shown that just changing a headline or a subject line of an email can increase conversions and open rates by 30% or more, which is huge.
So yeah, if you're throwing everything at the change, if you're making 100 changes or 20 changes or even 5 changes, you're not necessarily going to know what actually made the difference. That's why you do like one or two at a time. Much easier to track, much easier to see what actually, if any, difference it made. Right.
Yeah, and
So
you should be tracking it too, right? You should be writing down what changes you've made so that you can refer back and see, okay, maybe like this thumbnail was similar to this one as well, but then this one did better than this one. Why? Like what elements were in this one that weren't in that one kind of thing. Because if you don't remember what you've changed or what you've tested, then you're likely to make the same mistake again.
what? We would never do that.
No, totally not.
So basically, you think about it like, trying on outfits, right? You just keep trying on different ones till you find the one that works. And so your audience is the mirror, they're the ones that are going to be reflecting back whether or not it's your style, if it's working right for you, you know. So it's really simple. It's just, it's tasks, right? We all want to one and done. We want out the door and out of mind, out of sight. We just want to move on to the next thing. And this is where having that patience and to go with your persistence is going to be really helpful for you. So, A/B testing your emails, you can boost your click through rates up to 49% according to HubSpot. And they should know they are the masters at this kind of stuff. So, landing page optimization is another one, right? If you can send people to 2 different landing pages and see which one works better for you, that can increase your conversions as well. We're looking at up to 27%. So, these are just some statistics to really put in your mind as to why A/B testing is such an awesome thing. Facebook ads is another one that you talked about. When they're split tested for images versus video, show a 95% performance difference. Like that's
That's
huge,
huge.
right? So it depends on your niche, obviously. So maybe videos work better for one niche, photos work better for another. But this is something why you want to test it, because if you're going to invest in advertising, especially on a platform like Meta, You want to make sure that you're doing the best that you can for your dollars, because, you're going to spend it. You want to be able to make money out of it, right? So,
Yeah, the split testing might cost a little bit more upfront, but again, if you're going to see a 95% performance difference, that initial, maybe the one that you didn't think is going to do well is the one that does well. That happens a lot where
yeah,
marketers put a lot of work into one and they're like, this is going to be the one, but just in case, let me do this one. And it's often the one you don't think is going to perform that performs. So, is
so irritating.
so lucrative. Yes, it is. It's 100% irritating. It's the same as like when you spend 3 hours editing a video and it gets 5 likes, and then you throw a 5-second video up that you didn't even think about and it gets 1,000, and you're just like, what? It's the same principle.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
So, what all can you split test, right? Well, email campaigns. This is a big one. Your subject lines, you can. Obviously, you want to avoid the clickbaity subject lines. We hate those. But, maybe you have a really short one versus a really like creative or curiosity provoking one. Sender name. Are you sending it from you? Are you sending it from your brand? Which one's getting opened? Time of day is a huge one, right? They talk about it with Instagram all the time too, of like, when's the best time to post? When's the best time to email your audience? If you're testing that and the open rates, you can kind of see when the best time is. And then your CTA wording and even your button coloration, or your social media blocks, like messing with those icons. All of these things are things that you can test to get the most out of your email campaign.
Yeah, another one is the affiliate landing pages, like we were talking about. So, headlines, is it benefit driven versus a question? Button colors and placement, are you giving enough space? Do you have to have more? Do you have to have less? That kind of thing. Do they like blue versus green? Who knows, right? Product image and style, is it lifestyle or is it plain? Is it the who are you attracting? Are they wanting the more lifestyle images, or do they like something that's more direct and that they can relate to? Who knows? And then long form versus short form. Now this is one that, especially when you're doing lead capture, right? This is something that you really want to sort of check out, because for some, long form, they want to be able to read that. But if you're just doing lead capture, maybe that long form isn't going to work for you, but you don't know until you give it a shot, right? So that's where your A/B testing comes in, because you can have both. Send people to both. You could even have a landing page where you're just doing lead capture, or you have a landing page where you're doing lead capture and a sale, and see which one actually pulls through better, right?
Yeah.
So these are all options that you have.
Yes, love it. And then, of course, social media. We see this all the time, like your hook, your first 3 seconds in your opening line. What is it that's going to get their attention and hold their attention? And then the thumbnail there as well. Is your hook there in the thumbnail, or is it the end of the story? How are you doing that? Image versus video, we've already talked about. That can be a real big one. And Meta now will tell you kind of throughout the week if your photos or your videos are doing better on your personal or on your public page, so you can kind of get an idea of what your audience is looking at right now. Even changing up your verbiage on your buy buttons, right? So shop now, or learn more, or subscribe, or whatever it might be. Buy now. Those all can be changed and should be consistent, though. If you're not running a subscription type program or anything like that, and you put subscribe now, it might confuse people. But play around with those, because maybe shop now sounds friendlier than buy now,
Yeah.
and more people click it. And then emojis versus no emojis. There for a while, emojis were going crazy in bios and things like that, and that seems to have kind of tickered down, thankfully. But test it, and then tone of voice as well. Like, is it coming across as you, or does it sound really robotic?
Yeah. And I mean, you should know that your tone of voice, how you represent yourself, that's got to be consistent, right? So maybe you're trying to reach a really laid back group, but you're not a laid back person. So either you have to learn how to be one, or maybe that's not actually your demographic that you're trying to reach. But maybe you can reach them through a different way. Maybe it's more through your imagery or something like that, instead of the way that you talk specifically.
Yeah.
Um, so you want to keep it simple, right? You don't want to make this harder than it has to be. We're all about tools and automation and those kinds of things because you do really want to try and keep it as simple for yourself as possible. So for email, you've got ConvertKit, which is, I think it's just Kit now. Um, and they're pretty amazing. Even their free version is pretty amazing on what you get. Like they help you build your newsletters, send out your emails, put up your digital products. You can control it all there. You can A/B split it there. It's quite nice. MailerLite, which I haven't used, Active Campaign, they all have built-in A/B testing. Your landing pages. So you've got Leadpages, System.io, Unbounce, Thrive Themes, all of them, again, have your A/B testing. So it's pretty simple if you want to be able to do it. And then, yeah, Facebook or Meta, really Meta. It doesn't have to be just Facebook. Meta has A/B testing. And so does Pinterest, right? If you're doing more lifestyle stuff or cooking stuff, or you're utilizing, I know people don't really think about Pinterest, but it's a fairly active hub and it's a search engine just like YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and so it's another one that you can throw in there. And you can do your A/B testing, like their creator section allows you to do that and gives you options for that. So, and like you said, one tip at a time.
It's so easy to want to change everything, but you gotta curb, bring that in and do the right work,
Yeah,
put the
and
right foundation.
do do it in blocks. So like your subject line or your main header if it's a landing page or something like that. Do that first, you
Yep.
know. And then if that didn't seem to make any change, then work on image. You like any images you're using. Are you using images or videos? And if you're using a video, try an image. If you're using an image, try a video. Um, if you don't have a video, then maybe you just need to switch your image, right? Your picture or your video, if that's all you're using. But only do that. And then you go to your verbiage, right? So one
Yeah.
thing at a time.
Yeah, and pay attention to your toggles when you're split testing too, because this has got me before where I thought the toggle all the way over was 100% traffic going to that landing page. Turned out it was 0%. So pay attention to how the toggles are set up so that you make sure you're actually sending the traffic where you think you're sending it.
Well, there you go. And then the next thing you want to do is set a time frame and have a traffic goal in mind. So if you're going to run 2 email subject lines for 48 hours and or until 500 opens. So you can have an either or, right? You're either going to run it for 48 hours or you're going to run it until you get X number of things, or you can choose to do both, right? It's either going to be 48 hours if you reach your
There's a
target number,
pause. I'm
or
not sure if it's
you're
Donna or me though.
I can hear you,
Uh,
but you are
Open
you are
Facebook real fast and
static.
see if I can see who's paused.
Okay, so there, I see you moving again. I see you moving. Any right, so we'll go on to number
Of course, I can't
3.
find it. All right. So yeah,
Are
500
we?
opens, 48 hours, whatever it is, right? You want to make sure that you have that set and you know what it is. I think it's actually me based off of the internet that I'm seeing, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
I,
Um, and then measure what matters, right? So your click through rate, are they actually clicking your link? Your conversion rate, are they clicking but they're not signing or buying up? Open rates are great, especially when it comes to emails, but if they're not clicking on your links and they're not going to where you want them to go, then that's still going to be a problem. And then rinse and repeat, right? Take the winner, test it again, test against something new. Always want to be testing no matter what, just because you want to be sure that what you think is working is what is actually working. Just popping in on Donna to see
yeah.
where we're at.
So
And Facebook hasn't caught up, so I'm just going to keep talking because I'm not positive. Who's
can you
frozen?
hear me, girl?
So real world split test ideas.
Okay, so
Sorry, it looks like on Facebook Donna's still going.
Yes, because I can see and hear you. So a few
Okay, I can
real
see you. I'm gonna let you talk then, because
okay,
I'm not sure where we're
a
at,
few real world split test
and I don't
ideas.
want to
So
overpower you.
these these would be quick wins. So you could swap download now with grab your freebie, right? Instead of, so make it a little bit more personal. You can test, save 50% today versus get it for half price. Again, saving 50%, getting half price, same thing, but it's just a verbiage change. Try switching your product pin image from a mock up to a lifestyle shot, depending on how you want to make that work. So, like, say you're selling a mug instead of a mock up, it's you actually using the mug or something like that. And maybe you try something that's like a fun tone versus a helpful one in an email address headline and see who bites. Because maybe a little bit of sass is what's going to pull them in. You never really know. I've lost Rose now. It's been a week, let me tell you. Um, All right. So let's, okay. I see that she's trying to get on, but I don't know what's happening here. So the bottom line is it's not about perfection, right? As with everything else, it's about progress. Your audience tells you what they like through their actions. So whether that's a click or some form of engagement, they're going to tell you whether or not what you're doing is actually making a difference for them. And you're not failing if something flops, right? You're learning what doesn't work so that you can make the changes that you need, and that's gold. That's super important, because if you never fail, then you never know what's wrong. And if you give up every time something doesn't work, you'll never get forward. You'll never move ahead. And that's the most important thing, is that A/B testing is there to show you where you can grow. Um, you're not failing. You're learning, and that is the key thing here. So we have Rose back, but I don't know if we have Rose back. But that's okay, because we're pretty close to the end here anyways. um, Apologize for all of the technical difficulties that we seem to be having this last couple of weeks. It seems a bit crazy, but we got the information out there, and that's the key thing, right? But that's okay, because we're all right, so that is a wrap on today's episode of The Dark Roast. If split testing did feel scary before, hopefully now you can see how it's not that big of a deal, and it's really actually kind of magic. Don't forget that even the tiniest tweaks can make a massive difference, whether it's a headline, an image, or a call to action, or just the way that you use your voice. It can change your results. We're not really sure what we're going to be talking about next week, so we'll make it a surprise. Until then, stay caffeinated, and happy Friday. And happy Friday from our beautiful Rose as well. I see her. We're just saying goodbye, my dear. All right. Bye, folks. If you found this helpful, please drop a comment, share, and hit that subscribe button. Your feedback is super helpful in growing this channel.
And of course, if you have any questions, or if there's any specific thing that you would like us to talk about, drop that in the comments too. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday, everyone.